Well, hello everyone, Woodsong here, back again for another Woodsong video reading. Today I'm making a little bit of a change. Instead of finding a nice, serene, quiet, nature-ridden spot, I've kind of picked something totally different. This is a construction site, actually across from the building I work at. And what I'm thinking here is I have a friend who moved to Houston recently. She used to live out in a very rural area, and she's now in a very urban area. And she was commenting that she missed the beauty of the rural area, you know, with trees and flowers and bunny rabbits and so on like that all over. And she exchanged that for the steel and concrete of inner city Houston. And what I suggested to her is that there's really beauty everywhere if you know where to look, if you try to find it, if you look for it. Now, granted, sometimes you have to look pretty hard to find it, but you know, just because something's concrete and steel and you know, traffic and urban hustle doesn't mean that there isn't beauty there. Doesn't mean that you can't find calming and influential scenes and resources if you look for them. So I'm going to back away from the construction site for a second, and I apologize for hand holding this because I could not get my tripod to fit up to go up this high. And we're going to go ahead with our reading. Now I'm going to put my box on top of these cards because it is kind of windy up here. I'm up on the 6th floor of a parking garage. And I'm using my Tarot of the Illuminati deck again. I really love this deck. The artwork is beautiful. The only downside is that the cards are very thick and they're very difficult to shuffle. So I have to use a different shuffling method than I normally do to use them. But that said, let's go ahead and start off our reading. We're going to pull 3 cards. We're going to form some coherence, some continuous thought out of that, and look for tips and resources we might use, different perspectives we might use to examine situations that are vexing us. So let's start with our first card. This is the 8 of Wands. In most decks, this is one of the 2 cards that do not have a person on them. This is just as symbols. We have 8 wands that are flying through the air. And what this card suggests is change. You know, we were doing one thing, now we're doing something completely different. We're considering modifications in our everyday life, considering changes in where we live, considering changes in the type of things we might do. Change can be exhilarating, it can be very fearful as well. Many people fear change because they're moving from a known state to an unknown state. Even if they're not happy with the known state, they're leery about leaving it because at least it's something they know. What can they expect if things change, if they're going to something totally new? Well, one thing you might expect is that it could be really wonderful after the change. It could be an exhilarating, a moving, a growth experience. So we don't automatically resist change just because it is change. There's a lot of good that can come from change. Let's look at our second card just to kind of get an idea of where that, you know, why might we be looking at change. And our second card is the Emperor. Now the Emperor is kind of like a super king in that his feelings are much the same as a king, although so much more advanced. The thing about emperors is that they're about responsibilities. They're about the people that they care for. They're about taking care of their loved ones, taking care of the projects they care for, taking care of their infrastructure, being responsible. They want to make sure the trains run on time. They want to make sure that the crops come in. For them to be happy, the people they care for must be happy. So when we combine this with our change card, we might get a little bit of a clue about what type of change we might consider or why we might consider change. If changing your environment enables you to take care of the people who are close to you, the people you care for better, that might be something you might want to consider. You know, it's easy to stay and keep doing the same things, but sometimes if you have enough motivation, and if your motivation is to care for the ones that are important to you and special to you, change might be a little bit easier to swallow. So let's take another look and see where this is heading. With our last card, which is the 5 of Cups. 5 of Cups is an interesting card because it has a couple of different meanings on it. We have here an image of a person who is, we can't really see his face, but we get the feeling that he's kind of distraught. He's looking down at 3 cups that have spilled. Their contents are just flowing on the ground. And you get the feeling he's very upset about that. He's not happy about that. what he's ignoring in back of him, that he still has 2 cups that are still filled with whatever beverage or whatever thing they had in there. The message of this card is we want to be wary about focusing on the things that we've lost, on the things that we don't have. Instead, we want to focus on the things that we have remaining to us, on our remaining assets, because that can give us strength. If we look at what we've lost, that weakens us. If we look at what we still retain, that makes us strong. So when we put these together, we get the sense that if we find ourselves in a position where we come to an expectation, a realization that taking care of the people close to us is important, we may want to consider the changes we may make in order to do that, to make that thing happen. Now, in doing that, we're changing. We're giving up something. We're losing something, and that can be distraught. That can make us sad. That can make us uncomfortable. But what we have to look at is, what do we get? What do we gain by doing that? So we may change our situation. We may leave what's known to us and comfortable to us. But if what we attain through that change is something that's even more powerful and more valuable, particularly in means of taking care of our responsibilities and taking care of the people we care about, then that change may be something that's worthwhile considering. That's about it for the reading today. I do thank you for sitting in. If you enjoyed the reading, I'd be very grateful if you would share it with your social media friends. You can use some of the icons, some of the buttons below this reading on the YouTube screen to accomplish that. And if you care to subscribe, it's a free subscription from YouTube. Go ahead and click that and subscribe. What you gain by that is that when I do make changes, when I post new readings, you'll get automatic notification of those readings happening. You won't have to stumble across them by accident, or you won't have to wait until, like if you're in my in my written reading group in my blog, you won't have to wait for notification through that. So in any case, I do thank you for sitting in, and let's see if I can say it right this time. I'll be back later with more. This is Woodsong. I'm out. Take care.